Shopping for artisan handicrafts is my passion, my business, so in some ways, my life. Finding that perfect trinket or masterpiece, so intricate and carefully crafted, thrills me to no end. Back home in Texas, I surround myself with handmade art from all over the globe at my little boutique, as if to create an ongoing fantasy for myself that I am somewhere exotic. Every time I travel, I seek out the artisan shops, the artists, and the street vendors. It's always a great way to meet interesting people. But there are some important points to keep in mind when shopping in other countries for art. On a recent trip to Costa Rica, I did a bit of investigating into the world of artisan handicrafts. On one hand, there are the brick and mortar stores who pay rent and have a legitimate business. Next, you find the vendors on the street. Some have permits while others do not. Finally, there are the traveling, nomadic, hippie-type artisans who support their travels with their handmade treasures. When shopping for merchandise, it's important for me to make sure that the items I'm buying are actually from the country I'm visiting. For instance, some shops I found had many items that were made in Costa Rica or with natural materials such as shells or wood from Costa Rica. But in many instances and at numerous shops, I found wooden masks and sarongs from Indonesia or dangle earrings from Peru, for example. As a shop owner who sells these very items, I totally get it. These things are striking, inexpensive on the wholesale level, and are hot sellers. But buyer beware, they are not native. But I found that most shops had their share of native goods. One shop in particular, Arte Nomada in La Fortuna, was loaded with extremely interesting items, specifically jewelry. Now, not everything was made in Costa Rica or with Costa Rican materials, but everything was created by artisans that at least traveled through Costa Rica. It was all clearly handmade, such as these unique pure silver spoons, skillfully crafted into unique pendants. I'm fascinated with buying from the nomadic artists on the streets. Oftentimes, I can watch them work and chat with them about their travels. On my trip, I met a man from Chile who did beautiful chainmail and macrame work. Some pieces were selling for $100. I met Jimena, a Chilean beauty, also mixing stones with macrame, and Jose from Uruguay, a carver and a jeweler. Now, in this case, I'm not supporting Costa Rica per se, but I love that I know exactly who made the treasure I purchased. I love that buying that necklace will help pay their rent or a bus ticket or buy them dinner that night. There's nothing wrong with buying a sarong from Bali while I'm in Costa Rica. It might be the most beautiful sarong I've ever laid eyes on, but there is a beauty in fully supporting the artists and trade of the region or the artists I meet.